everybody, welcome to Nikki Thinks. Today we're going to be talking some football. I am super excited. I know some fantasy is going on right now and some other big headlines. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Ezekiel Elliott thing and that whole Cowboy situation, just a little bit. But mainly I'm going to talk about OU, and we are like 3 or 4 days away from the first game. Super excited. So I'm going to go over their schedule, where I think they're going to end up. I'm redoing the OU football schedule just because I talked about it in a video that I posted on the Tumblr blog, but it wouldn't let me upload it. So then I had to upload it to Facebook, so not everybody got to see it. So now that I'm going to upload it to the channel on YouTube, everybody will get to see it. So therefore I'm going to talk about OU football again, which, trust me, I can talk about OU football all day long, every day. So yeah, we'll get into some NFL stuff, and then we'll talk OU football for the majority of this video. This video should only be about 20 minutes long, probably a little less. I'm not going to make it forever. So, fantasy, I've already done my fantasy draft. Some big names I think people should get if they haven't done their drafts already. I know a lot of people already have. Barkley, McCaffrey, if you can get him, get him. He beefed up a lot over the offseason. He's going to be really good. He's going to really help Carolina a lot. QB-wise, I'm not a fan of rookie QBs, so in fantasy, just because you never know really if they're going to play. People who drafted Baker last year and then Tyrod Taylor started, if Tyrod did not get hurt, who knows if Baker would have played like he did last year. So I just don't like that risk. I'd rather take my risk somewhere else with like a running back or a receiver or somebody, not my QB. But Murray, if you want to pick him, pick him. He's not a bad pick. That's just my personal opinion. I don't do rookie QBs. I got Breeze in my fantasy. Breeze, I think, is going to do really well. Brady, Rodgers. I wouldn't pick Dak because I don't think the Cowboys are going to do much this year. And when I pick a QB for my fantasy, I look at what the team he has around him, and if he's going to just do it, hand the ball off, throw some quick passes, and I wouldn't pick Stafford. The way the league that I was in, I have Breeze as a starter, and then I have Phillip Rivers as a backup. Phillip Rivers, Chargers, they'll do some damage with some teams, and he knows how to throw a good deep ball. So you can't really go wrong with any QB, and that's why they're professionals. But Barkley, McCaffrey, let's see, Elliott, I wouldn't pick. David Johnson's a good. DeAndre Hopkins is good. Julio Jones, Michael Thomas, Juju, Dalvin Cook, Le'Veon Bell. They're all good. They're kind of safe in a way. You know they're gonna get the yards and the points and the touchdowns, and so they're decent picks. That's just some fantasy talk. QB, yeah. So try and get your number one choice, one of your choices for running back, and try and get one of your top choices for receiver early. I personally always like picking QBs first, and then build my fantasy team with how I've run. I've had better luck, and I've won a lot more if I pick the QB I want first, and then kind of pick what's best available when it's my turn to draft. I've won more leagues doing it that way than sitting there with a pen and paper, picking and just waiting to the QB, because there's no guarantee because you don't know who else is thinking about the same thing you're thinking about. So yeah. Sorry, so I'm looking over here just to reference, because I am not good at remembering stuff. See, it's all going fancy football right now. Andrew Luck. Okay. I am devastated for Andrew Luck. My thoughts and my prayers go with him and his family, because I know retiring from a game you're passionate about is tough. Just quitting something you're passionate about, and he's not quitting. leaving something you're passionate about is tough in general, but if it's for your livelihood at the same time, I could not imagine. Could not imagine. The Colt fans that were booing Andrew Luck, I think it's just so uncool. That's not cool to do. Yes, that guy did not give you Super Bowls, but I mean, he didn't really have much to go off of. You know, he didn't have the best team around him, and yet he was winning you games. And you know, let's think about this. Andrew Luck had to step in after Peyton Manning. He had to step in and try and replace somebody who was there for seemed like forever and who was never going to leave. He had to replace Peyton Manning. That's like, oh gosh. I mean, how many coaches do you go through between, Barry Switzer and Bob Stoops? You know, not everything you're going to get out of the flower bed is going to be a flower. You're going to pick some weeds too. And Andrew Luck is not a weed. He's not. But my point is to the Colt fans that were booing Andrew Luck is, look at what the guy gave you. You know, he didn't win you championships, but he got you wins. He's a good quarterback. And you should really be booing the front office and the GM and all that stuff. You know, just for the fact that they didn't draft him O-line and they didn't try and draft him and get him the players he needed to be successful. So, it sucks for Andrew Luck. I really hope that I think he's going to be a great coach one day. He has a football mind and a passion for football that just makes coaches fantastic. So I hope the best for him. It sucks. I think the Colts are going to be 2 to 3 years out from doing some damage to some teams. But Andrew Luck just horrible. The whole Antonio Brown thing, it's dumb in my opinion. Just wear the helmet. Just wear it. You're losing grievance after grievance after grievance. You're missing time of practicing. I wonder if, and this could sound bad coming, what I'm about to say, but it's an opinion. This is called Nikki Thinks for a reason, and I think that Antonio Brown is doing this for the Hard Knocks cameras. A part of it. Why would you want to play with a helmet that's 10 years old after you see a fellow league member have to retire because his, concussions and injuries? And how many other former players have concussions and injuries from the helmets that you're begging and fighting to wear? Would you not want to keep your head safe? Like, you're a receiver. You're getting targeted to your head basically all the time, whether it be through a ball, a defender, whatever. There's something coming at your head all the time, and your shoulders and your neck. I would want a helmet that the NFL cleared because they think it's safe. I just think it's dumb. I personally, I don't understand why I think he's doing it just to be the star and to, it's just, yeah, okay. If I talk about it, I'm going to get angry, and I don't want to get angry. The Colts have been hosting some former QBs. I know they hosted Brock Osweiler. Brock Osweiler was decent. I mean, he made it in the NFL, which some quarterbacks can't even do who are better, but so there's a soccer player called, her name is Carly? Yeah, Carly Lloyd. She is been having some meetings with teams. She is considering to be a kicker in the NFL. I'm pumped for it. I'm excited. I'm all game. I am ready for this. I am all for it. I love women and men genres and men's arenas because that just breaks down more barriers for women, and it gives something little girls to look up to. I know she's had meetings, or she's been practices with the Ravens, the Eagles, and the Bears. I know for sure. Other teams, I'm not sure. They haven't said. The Bears could really use her. Eagles could use her. The Ravens, I mean, every team can use another kicker. I personally don't think the Ravens need it. You have J-Tech, who is automatic, basically. But I love it. I feel like this just proves that women can do almost anything men can do, and I'm all for it. So I hope she signs a contract, even if it's just for 1 year. I know her trainer said that if she does do it, it would be more, the whole NFL season would be for a training for the 2020 season and, you know, all that stuff, the Olympics and everything. So I'm all for it. I'm good. I'm game. That is kind of it about NFL. So if you guys have any questions or anything you want me to talk about NFL wise, or you want my thoughts and opinions on, or if you just want to talk to me about what I've said about NFL, just comment them down below. And then as always, I will always link my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the Tumblr. Actually, I still have that for some posts that I don't want to talk about, I want to write about. I'll always post that in the description below. But yes, comment on it. Follow me on those social media platforms to talk about it. I'm all game for talking about some football, and I just love discussing it with people. It's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. Okay. OU football. I am so pumped. Okay. So I said in the first video that, and at the time I recorded the first video, Riley did not announce who the starter was for QB. I said that it should be Jalen Hurts, just as the fact of, for one, your first game, it's a Sunday night. It's the only football game on that whole day. It's at 6:30 p.m., which means it's the only thing on at that time on a Sunday night. So everybody is going to be watching it. Your eyes are on it. And it's a home game. It's going to be big. It's going to be loud. Hurts, who played for Alabama, has experiences because he played for and won a national championship. He has experience in those big game situations. I personally would like his experience because from what I read and heard and saw, that Mordecai and Hurts was who it boiled down to. They were both playing really good ball in practice. That's why I would say Hurts. In my opinion, I would pick Hurts just for the experience, because if they were both playing really good ball in practice and both making the right throws, making the right calls, making the right reads, and all that stuff, I would pick experience just over that. And, you know, I know Radler, as of late, was in that conversation to start. I never saw it. I thought they were going to redshirt him from the beginning. But yeah, so I'm excited for Hurts. I have a t-shirt I got at the Sooner Mall here in Norman that says Hurts so good. So I'm excited to wear it. And, you know, it just, and it rubs into Alabama's face that they stink. So, I don't know. I just, anything to dig at Alabama a little bit. So, kind of go over where I think OU will finish. Just kind of briefly go over the game. And if I think they'll win or lose, and at the end I'll give my full season breakdown. Well, not breakdown, but like the season record and why I think that, because some OU fans are going to get pretty angry with me. Houston, I see a win. Dana Holgorsen, he's going to give OU a fight because he coached for West Virginia so long and played against OU so long that he's going to know. I'm excited to see how the defense is going to work. So they'll give OU a fight, but I see OU winning. South Dakota, win. It's a pay-per-view game. So OU's winning so far. We're 2-0. UCLA at UCLA, I see a win. If the defense does not get together within the first two games, it's going to be tricky. I think our offense will have no problem. The only issue with offense is the offensive line. That's the only thing I see an issue with. But our O-line coach nips that stuff in the butt real quick. So I think after the first two games, our O-line should be decent enough to not have any issues or major issues. You know, you're always, no matter how good your offensive line is, even Alabama and our offensive line last year, who was the best O-line in the country, they still got penalties called. I'm sorry. I've had a long day. They still got penalties called. So, at UCLA, win so far 3-0. Versus Texas Tech, home game. And let me just stop. So, our first three games are night games. I love OU being in night games when we have these, like, last year and the year before, I feel like we didn't have enough night games. Because when we have these quarterbacks like Baker and like Murray that everybody's watching, you know, no one's going to watch them when other games are on, you know, and so, my opinion, I love night games just for the fact that if you work like I do on Saturdays, you have a chance to get off of work and go watch the game. OU Texas has already made me mad because it's 11 o'clock. And I have to work during OU Texas. I'm so upset. Don't even get me started. So Texas Tech, they haven't announced the time yet, but I see a win. They don't have Cliff anymore. They have a good coach. They have decent players, but I see OU winning. At Kansas, I see OU winning. I don't think, what's his name? LSU coach. Les Miles. I don't see him getting to, I mean, they're going to be better than last year, I would assume. I would hope. But it's going to take him 2 to 3 years. Maybe next year. But it's going to take him a little bit to get some good players in there for those players to follow his system the way he wants it. So, Lincoln Riley was really, really lucky taking over for Bob Stoops because he didn't really lose anybody. We lost people, but, I mean, he was already the offensive coordinator. Les Miles is coming straight in with no idea how Kansas's program is run. So, well, not straight in, but, you know, I don't know. So far we're 5-0. Okay. Deep breath, people. Texas. Texas is a literal 50-50 at this point. I see OU winning. I would love OU to win. I expect OU to win, but it's also Texas. And Texas is going to be really good this year. And it burns me to say that. Trust me, I cannot stand the words that just came out of my mouth. But Texas is going to be decent, and they're going to be good this year. They're going to give, I mean, they always give OU trouble, but it could be lost. To be 100%, you know, if I was taking my personal affiliations out of this, if I was just, you know, an analyst of college football, I would say I could see how Texas could win the game. I really could. If our defense has not gotten up to par, if they're not playing together well, not stopping the run, stopping the pass, or not playing good defense, by the time Texas rolls around, we lost it. I mean, that game will boil down to how well the defense is playing and how great Grinch can get those players to play. So, I wanted to say win, but I'm going to take an L on OU Texas. Just to be realistic, trust me, I don't want it any more than anybody who else is an OU fan. But to be realistic, I can see Texas winning the game. So we are 5-1. West Virginia, I see us winning. It's a home game. I see us winning. 6-1 at Kansas State. I'll see some trouble because Kansas State always gives us trouble, but I see a win. So 7-1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. So Kansas is 7-1 versus Iowa State. We could lose that game. I'm not gonna lie. We could lose it. Iowa State's, to me, they're gonna finish third in the Big 12. They're really good. I'm gonna give OU the win because it's a home game, but I'm not giving the OU win by much. I'm giving it very little. You know, Iowa State could, I mean, their coach is just, he's young and he has a good mind, and he reminds me of a little bit of Lincoln Riley, how his mind works. He just has a good football mind. And so, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Iowa State, I see 8-1, but it's very possibly could be 7-2. I hate to say it. Baylor, win. TCU, win, barely. We could lose it just like Iowa State. I know they're home games, so that's why I'm giving OU the win, because that home field advantage does mean a lot in college football, and by a lot, I mean a field goal or a touchdown So point-wise, no. But when it comes down to winning the game, then yes, a lot. So Oklahoma State, I see win. I don't see OSU, I call them I don't see Oklahoma State beating OU this year. Maybe next year. I don't know. So realistically, if I was an analyst, if I was in Joel Klatt's seats or somebody's seat, OU's going 11-1. I would prefer them to go 12-0. I think it's possible if the defense plays well, the O-line gels together real quick. It's possible. Just realistically, I see 11-1, maybe 10-2, but I don't see OU losing 2 games this year. I really don't. I see them winning the Big 12 championship. I think if Texas wins the meeting in October, I see OU winning. I see, Texas won the matchup last year in October, and then they played for the Big 12 championship and they won, or OU won. So I see that same thing happening. I see OU winning the Big 12 championship. I think the top 3 finishers is OU 1, Texas 2, Iowa State 3. So I think OU wins the Big 12 championship, but I do not see them going undefeated. I want to be proved wrong more than anybody, trust me. I see them going to the college football playoff again. I don't see my top 4 picks for college football is Alabama in no order. Alabama, Clemson, OU, and I'm going to put Georgia in there because Georgia, you know what? It would not surprise me if Georgia wins the SEC flat out. They're the SEC champions. I mean, it's possible. I see it happening. But as far as OU goes, 11-1 is where I'm going to put OU. I know from OU fans and people who I know who watch this, I'm going to get a lot of slack and a lot of hate for saying OU will lose to Texas. But I don't want to come on this channel and start talking about just not be realistic. I don't want to come on here and just say, oh, well, yeah, OU's going undefeated. There's nothing wrong with OU. The defense is going to play great. Our O-line's going to gel so quickly together. No. I want to be realistically, and I want to, share the truth, my opinions and my thoughts, and my opinion is realistically Texas will win. So I see 11-1 for OU. But I also see them winning the Big 12 championship and going to the college football playoff again. So, game time this Sunday, September 1st at 6:30 p.m. Central. You can watch it on ABC, listen on OU Radio. Toby Rowland will... What I do if I don't like the announcers on ABC or ESPN is I'll mute the TV and listen to Toby Rowland on the radio, just for the fact of he's just better. And he likes OU, so that way we don't have Houston biased people. Watch ESPN app. It's a home game in Norman, so if you're in Norman and you have tickets to the game, go cheer loud. It's white out, so everybody wear white. I am pretty excited. Jalen Hurts, I think, is going to bring some really good attention to the Sooners. So football time is back in Oklahoma, people, and it's the greatest time of the year. People say Christmas is, but no, football is the most wonderful time of the year. So that's just some thoughts I have on some NFL things, and I'm glad I got to talk about OU so what my plan is for this upcoming this week, and then talking more about OU, is the Tuesday or Monday, depending on how I do it. Probably Monday since I'm off of work. The Monday after every football weekend will be sports. The videos will be about 20 to 30 minutes long, so I apologize if people don't want to listen to me talk for that long, but I feel like that's a good amount of time to talk about the OU game previously, the NFL games from the day before, and all that stuff. Later on this week, probably Saturday night, I will upload another video to YouTube just talking about some random things, going over some Bible verses that have been in my head and on my heart, and then talk about some random things, I guess. So, I don't know yet. Alright, well, if you guys have any comments, questions, drop them down in the comment section below. If you guys would like to, please hit the subscribe button. There is a lot of Nikki Thinks. If you search Nikki Thinks on YouTube, you'll find like all the Nikki Bella and John Cena stuff. Oh, it annoys me. So yeah, if you hit the subscribe button, then you won't have to worry about thumbing through all those Nikki Bella videos. So yeah, comment down below any questions or comments you have of anything that I said. My socials, like my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, and even the Tumblr blog will always be posted in the description, and always, if you go to my channel, it'll be on the top right corner of that big red banner art. Yeah. If I'm missing anything, I'll hit it in the next video. Alright, y'all. Well, thank you so much, and this has been Nikki Thinks.